his battles never end.
I think war's just been declared. Why don't you just sit there and bleed a while before you taste some real pain?
Hello everybody, welcome back to Screenstars. I'm here today to bring you my classic review for the 1986 classic Clint Eastwood film, Heartbreak Ridge. The film is directed by the man himself, Clint Eastwood, who also stars in the film along with Marsha Mason, Everett McGill, Moses Gunn, Bo Svensson, Boyd Gaines, Mario Van Peebles, and Raymond Franco. Right. The film follows Gunnery Sergeant Thomas Highway, played by Clint Eastwood, who is a Marine who is close to retirement. He's been a lifelong Marine. He's gung-ho. He's been in a number of encounters. He's got the Congressional Medal of Honor. And he is given one last assignment to train the recon soldiers at a military base. However, he is not so popular with Major Malcolm Powers, played by Everett McGill, who is his superior officer, who wants him gone, basically. He doesn't like him. They've got a clash of personalities there. Gunnery Sergeant Thomas Highway goes to meet his troops, and then he basically has to drag these troops through a training program and turn them into battle-hardened Marine veterans in order to get them ready for any kind of hot encounter that they may have to face. Right, what are my thoughts on Heartbreak Ridge? In actual fact, I thought this would be an easy film to describe, but in actual fact it isn't an easy film to describe. It's probably a film that wouldn't get made today in many ways, because this is a film that when you watch it is so clearly entertaining. I mean, it's wonderful. I mean, I'm a huge fan of Clint Eastwood, and fans of this channel will know that I've reviewed a lot of Clint Eastwood films on this channel, and he's just my all-time hero, really. I just adore Clint Eastwood films, and I just think they're so good, and he's made so many classics, and this for me is one of them. This is easily in my top 10 favourite Clint Eastwood films of all time. But when you watch it, you're not sure sometimes what it's trying to be. Is it trying to be a serious military drama? Is it trying to be a comedy? Because it's certainly bloody funny at times. Is it trying to be an action film? Because the last half an hour of this film is, pretty action heavy. What is this film trying to be? Well, it's trying to be all those things, and it massively succeeds at all of those things. It's one of those films that you can't really pigeonhole. It's just bloody good. Now, I think Clint Eastwood in this film has created one of his most iconic roles. He's so unforgettable as Thomas Highway in this film. He's got a raft of one-liners, if you like. He takes no crap. He's tough as you like. And he's on a quite a nice arc in this film as well. Because not only is he training this group of soldiers, to try and turn them into, serious Marines. He's got to earn their respect, which he does. But he's also trying to reconnect with one of his ex-wives. Aggie, played by Marsha Mason. Can I say played brilliantly by Marsha Mason. Clint Eastwood, I think, has acted alongside, a lot of ladies in his movies. We've got the Sandra Locke stuff, and a few others that we could talk about. But I don't think as many have had as good a chemistry with Clint Eastwood as Marsha Mason had. This, fractured relationship of these two people that, when they were married, dearly loved each other, but it was doomed to failure, the marriage, because he was a career Marine, and he kept getting sent off to, Vietnam and Korea and all these encounters that just destroyed their marriage. And to see them reconnect over the running of this film is really, really quite beautiful at times, to see their, certainly her anger towards him at the beginning of the film, and how she slowly, reconnects with him as the film moves on, and realises that he's a man that's coming to the end of his career, and he's ready now. He's ready to do what he couldn't do years previously, which is commit to the relationship. And you really do. It's a huge part of the film, that relationship between him and Aggie, and it really gives the film an awful lot of heart. The scenes with him in the Marines are priceless. There are so many quotable moments in this film, you just don't know where to start. When he shoots at them with the AK-47, as you can see there, and tells them it's the preferred weapon of their enemy, and it makes a distinct sound. When he steps on the guy's glasses and said you shouldn't litter, faggot, it's economically unsound. It's got so many great one-liners in this film. And another thing that I really like about this film, and I have mentioned this before with some reviews that I've done, is, my father is no longer with us. And I grew up watching a lot of films with my dad. And he was a big Clint Eastwood fan and Star Trek fan, hence why I am, obviously. And he used to watch this film a lot. My dad passed in 1991, so I had seen this film a couple of times before he died, and we used to watch it together on VHS. And there are certain scenes where, when I still watch it today, and that scene happens, and it's a funny scene especially, I can still remember my dad's laugh, when Clint Eastwood was being funny with them one-liners and things like that. So it's got a real nostalgic feel for me as well, this film, regardless of how good the film is. And it really is very, very good, because it does, I think, accurately portray the life of a Marine. Now, initially as well, it's my understanding anyway, that the US military initially supported this film until they saw an early cut of it, and then they disowned it. And I think the reason they disowned it is they didn't like the foul language in the film, and they didn't like the fact that Thomas Highway, who was a Medal of Honor winner, was so disrespected by superior officers. Some things along them lines anyway. But even though the military kind of stepped away and didn't want anything to do with it upon release, there are many Marines that have vouched for the authenticity of this film in regards to how Marines are portrayed. So I think Clint Eastwood has not only delivered here in a lot of ways, an accurate depiction of life in the military. He's also delivered a raft of memorable characters. There's so many. I mean, Mario Van Peebles, who was in this film, is so memorable. He's just a Stitch Jones. This guy wants to be this rock star who, but he's also in the Marines, and the way he initially kind of betrays Clint Eastwood's character when they first meet, and then when Clint Eastwood reunites with him in the barracks, is just priceless. And the first meeting between Clint Eastwood and the squad is just a priceless. There's so many memorable moments here in this film. I think it's definitely one of Clint Eastwood's finest films. His voice as well in this film, it's gravelly. I don't know if it's true, but I don't know if he had an operation or something on his throat, why his throat was like that in the film, but it just adds to the character of this film. This flawed man who's trying to finish his career in the right way, and it's a fine film that is never boring, always fun, always interesting. There's always something new and to enjoy in this film, and the pacing as well. This film finishes before you know it, because you're just so entertained while you're watching it. Honestly, guys, if you've never seen Heartbreak Ridge, I implore you to watch it. It's aged beautifully because of the setting, sort of thing. Doesn't feel like it's set in the 80s or anything like that. It definitely has aged like a fine wine, this film. And I can only encourage you to watch this film if you've never seen it. Everybody watching this review who has seen it will know exactly what I'm talking about. An absolute stone cold Clint Eastwood classic. So thanks for watching, guys. I'm looking to maybe do some more Clint Eastwood classic reviews, so fire them in the comments if there's any films you want me to do. I have done quite a few Clint Eastwood reviews. I think I do have a playlist on the channel, so check them out if you're interested. But I will of course be back with loads more reviews and content on the channel very, very soon.